Okay, hey students. So we are going to talk a little bit about the assignment in music appreciation. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so I can walk you through this. Share. All right, so we are in Incredibox this week, and if you've not used Incredibox yet, it is a really fun app for us to use in music classrooms to help build beats. You don't have to be a music genius in order to build beats in Incredibox. So I like using them. So I'm actually going to stop, and I'm going to go back to the beginning so you can watch me walk through this. So if you have the app, you can use it, but the app is not free. It's much easier just to use the web version. So that's the one that I'm attaching into Classroom. And so once you click try the web version, it's going to take a second and load. There are 7 versions, but the first 4 versions are the only ones that are free. These ones down here are locked, and they either require you creating a mix in order to unlock it or paying for it. So I'm going to start with the alpha. I actually like the beats in this one the best. And so once it loads, you're going to see a couple of things. You can go back to your versions. You can go to some of the mixes that you've created, but we're going to go ahead and hit the play button, which will take us to the main screen. All right, so here you go. You got 7 shirtless dudes, and then these are all of the options for you to choose. And I actually have already picked or made a version, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up the sounds that I want. So I'm going to put this on this guy, and I'm going to mute him so that he's not driving me crazy. This is for this guy, and again, yep, I'm going to mute him. And then this is for this guy, and I'm going to mute him as well as soon as he turns on. Yes, hello. And then I've got this for this guy, and yep, I'm going to mute him as well. And then let's see, I've got this for this guy, and I'm going to mute him as well. Yep, hello, bass man. And then I like this sound for this guy, and I'm going to mute him as well. And then the last one was this guy, and I'm going to mute him as well. Okay, so I've already done this, so I know what these guys sound like, but you need to take your time and figure out what sounds you like. And one word of warning, this doesn't save your stuff until you get to the end of the assignment. So if you want to keep up with the sounds that you like, you may want to take a screenshot with your phone, which is what I did earlier when I was practicing. And then I was able to just come right back and load up the sounds that I like. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to unmute all of these guys so you can hear all of their sounds together. And you can see the button that I'm hitting to unmute. So now I have all 7 of my sounds. I like this idea. It's pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to go back and mute them all. For your assignment, you are going to do this 3 times, and you can only use one version once. So for the next 2, I would need to use versions 2 through 4. One time. So here's what I ask you to do. First, select your people. Figure out the order you would like to put them in, and then I want you to create a loop that you record, and then that is what you will upload into Classroom. In case you've never played with Incredibox before, these little locks right here, if you manage to set a sound just right, it unlocks a free video that then inserts itself into your mix. It's actually pretty cool. All right, so here's the other thing I want to pay attention to. This is like a little loop metronome. So when it hits the top, that's like the top of the sound, and then it just keeps repeating. So I'm going to unmute this little guy so you can see what I'm talking about, and I'm going to do the very best I can to unmute it when it gets to the top. So here we go. So you can see as that wheel spins, as it gets to the top of the wheel, that's the beginning of the sound. So I'm going to try and unmute this at the same time. So if you time this correctly, you actually can make sure that everything lines up correctly. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to unmute, I'm going to mute everybody. So here's the assignment. You have to create not only your sounds, but I want you to practice figuring out, like as a sound engineer, how to bring in and take away sounds. So the recording feature is going to let you do that. You're going to hit record, and once you hit record, it's going to start recording for you, and that wheel will come back so you can do some timing. So I'm going to go ahead and hit record. There's the wheel, and then I'm going to unmute. And once I figured out the next sound, and I've already kind of decided that, so here we go, the next sound. You can see that my record wheel is still going on. And here's my other guy. Now I've got all three of my sounds. Bring a couple more in, making sure I'm timing it correctly. Bring another guy in. So this is kind of what a sound engineer would do. A sound engineer would have their sounds and then figure out ways to bring them in and take them away in ways that make the music interesting. So here are my last two that I'm going to bring in. One more sound. And then what you could do here is you could just be done. And you could figure out ways to now take the sounds away, because we want to start with one sound at a time, and then we also want to end with one sound at a time. So now I'm going to start pulling them away. I like that bass guy coming back in, so I'm going to do it again. I'm going to take away this guy right here. And I actually want to end with the bass guy. And done. So once I'm finished, that wasn't a clean finish, but once I'm finished, I want to save. I'm going to add in my mix. My title is always K-Wizzle. This is test subject number 2. And you need to fill in those top 2. And then click yes. And then you want to share it. This is what you're going to put back into Schoology, the link. Okay? Make sure it's copied. And then once you get back to Schoology, you know as well as I do that once I make this live, this assignment, there will be a place for you to turn it in. And you're going to turn it in with the create button. So yes, let me finish this. So when you attach your link, you're going to attach it in the create box. And so before you submit, there should be 3 links. So if you want to keep up with these links before you turn it in, let's say it takes you the better part of the week, you need to email the links to yourself so that you can have all 3 links. But once you send that to me, it will basically send me right back to Incredibox, and I will be able to see everything that you've created, and I can watch the voices that you put in one at a time, and then I can watch the voices that you pull out one at a time. So this should be a pretty cool way for you to kind of test your sound engineer, sound production skills, to see how you develop a sound, how you bring it in and take it out, and what the overall sound ends up being at the end. So try this out this week. This is what we'll do. In addition to all of the listening that you're doing for the Rolling Stones countdown, we are in the top 80s, and I've got not only the videos of the top 80 people, but we're also watching a few of the tribute performances honoring those people and the legacy that they've made. Okay, I hope this has been helpful to you. I'm going to stop sharing. And yeah, I know virtual people, we don't see each other a whole lot, but hopefully this will be an enjoyable exercise for you this week. And non-virtual people, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.